TikTok compilation that might wake you up and change your reality. Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
In the matrix you've experienced. My friend Sarah was in a nightclub drunk off her face when she got an overwhelming urge to tell a total stranger that her leg hurts. Edit, it didn't hurt at the time. She just had an urge to say it. It's all a bit strange. She ignored it, but it doesn't stop. So she walks up to this guy and says, I know this is crazy, but I've got a huge urge to tell you that my leg hurts. I know that's crazy again, sorry. He bursts into tears. Turns out his dad had just died and they made a pact before that if there was an afterlife, he would get a message to him saying a totally random phrase so there could be no mistakes, which they decided on the phrase was, I've hurt my leg. Oh my God. I love that sort of shit, eh?
Could just be a made up story though. If this was the case, everyone would get messages from people who have died. But let me know how you feel about this in the comment.
Sharing is how you leak your energy, which is why privacy is energetic protection. There's no need to tell people more than they need to know. The less you reveal, the more they can wonder. Moving in silence is powerful, and it's how you maintain a peaceful life. This is how you vibrate higher.
Sharing is not the issue. It's who you share your energy with.
Didn't make any sense. I mean, I'm a girl. Girls don't struggle with porn, right? And so I remember sometimes sitting in church and people would say things about, if you're a man in here and you're struggling with porn, you need to run to this altar. And I just kept thinking, I'm a freak. I'm a freak. Something is wrong with me. I'm going to hell. There were times on the weekends after school, I would literally wake up, start watching porn. It'd be light outside. I'd happen to look up and it would be pitch black. Fast forward, I'm 16. I went to a youth conference that one of our sister churches was hosting. And a lady went up and told her testimony, and she was talking about secret sin. And I remember sitting in that service and I was thinking to myself, this is my moment. Like, this is it. I can get free. But I couldn't do it in front of everybody. I didn't want to admit that I wasn't who I said I was, who people thought I was, who people would tell me I was, right? And so I made it up in my mind. I was like, I won't answer the altar call here, but I'm going to go home and I'm going to tell my parents. I remember flying home. I told my parents that I was looking at things that weren't right on the internet. They forgave me. And I thought, okay, I'm good. I beat this thing, right? And I didn't have to tell everybody. Well, the next year, something really interesting happened. I was 17 years old. I was working at this job. I haven't been watching porn. I'm feeling great. And I'm really just telling my coworkers about Jesus. And it was interesting. The people that I worked with, some were Muslim, some were atheists, some just indifferent. And I was just telling them, no, Jesus loves you. You got to come to my church. We're about to have this conference. It's going to be amazing. And so they're kind of like, yeah, you're a little weird, but we might come and check this out. I had a dream one night. One of my coworkers, he was standing across from me and he said, deny Christ. It was very menacing, very, very demonic. And he said, deny Christ. And I looked at him and I said, no. And then he pulled out a gun and shot me in the head. A couple of days later, I'm still telling them about this conference coming up. You guys should come, all this stuff. And find myself at a prayer meeting. And then I stood up to lift up my hands and immediately I hit the ground. And I thought, man, that is so strange. I just stand up too fast. But I knew something was odd about that. And all throughout the rest of the night, I wasn't feeling well. My head was hurting so bad. And I was like, something's wrong. Well, I get home. My dad was asking me some questions. I started throwing up, rushed me to the hospital, and they did some scans on my brain. It turned out I had been bleeding in my brain. A blood vessel in my brain burst. And I had been bleeding for about 6 hours before I got to the hospital.
Addictions are very real, I know. However, when you focus on Christ, everything starts to fall into place. You pray, you read the Bible, and you try to get to know God personally through Jesus every day. Your addictions start to wear off without you even trying. And not only do your addictions disappear, but everything about you begins to improve. And God starts to put new and good people in your life. So don't focus on your addiction. Shift your mind to Christ.
Do people get tired of each other after being together for a long time? When two people spend a lot of time together, they become very familiar with each other. You might argue about small things and feel tired, and start thinking that you don't like each other anymore, and that you're not a good match. Then you meet someone else, and you feel like that person is great for you, even better than your current partner. You have fun conversations that seem to last for hours. You treat each other with kindness, and you seem to forget about your current partner. But in this moment, it is important for you to remember that when you first got together, you also had endless things to talk about. You should know that feelings can become ordinary over time, and it's only with people you don't know well that you have a lot to talk about. Real feelings show up when you have nothing to talk about, and excitement turns into true love. If you can overcome this phase, then you realize that there's nothing in this world that can break your bond.
Yep. Emotions may come and go, but the most important thing is to stay with the person, no matter how many challenges you may encounter in your relationship. True love means loving them, not just in happy times.
Did you know that eels are the only animals in the world that we have no idea where they came from? Like the weird fish in the oceans. Scientists have done observations of them, and eels during a specific time in the year, regardless of where they are, will literally all travel to the Bermuda Triangle, and that's where they link up. No matter where they are from, Europe, the freshwater rivers of the United States. When it's time to mate, they just all go to the Bermuda Triangle, and it's dangerous for scientists to study them, so it's a bit hard, so we don't really know where they originate from. And the females and males have no reproductive organs, so how do they reproduce? Also, they did a test where they put the eels inside a bucket, then when it was time to mate, they all swam in the direction of the Bermuda Triangle. You know, how people have speculated octopuses being aliens, right? People think eels also might not be from here. And then the theory goes on to claim that there was a meteor that crashed in the Bermuda Triangle and allegedly crashed 65 million years ago, coincidentally, when the dinosaurs were gone.
Answer this. What did we call electric eels before we discovered electricity? Let me hear it in the comment, please.
I found out that listening to music on repeat is a form of stimming.
Yes, listening to a song on repeat, especially a good one, is 100% a stimming behavior and perfectly normal within the neurodivergent community, because anything that is sensory, meaning tactile, having to do with taste or how things feel, or in this case, how things sound, have to do with the neurodivergent experience. That's why it is so nice and, of course, relieving to meet other neurodivergent individuals who not only see this behavior as 100% commonplace, but who can relate and even recommend some awesome stims that already follow, the kinds of behaviors that you're already doing, or some of the, stim toys and products that they've tried. So, give it a shot. Come over to Caboose, meet other neurodivergent people, and hopefully, find your tribe, whatever it is that makes you.
People generally do this. Don't worry, you're not special.
You take your phone, you're tossing it up like this, you can do this all day long, right? You're not worried about dropping it. But you take this phone and you put it over a 5-story balcony, and doing that makes your heart rate go up, you sweat, and you might actually drop your phone. The thing that you don't want to happen because you're overthinking it happens. Your life works the same way. By you trying to control outcomes and over-prepare and over-plan and, what's gonna go wrong? That becomes your self-fulfilling prophecy. This is my one interview and my one shot. Okay, I can't mess this up. Again, you're gonna be robotic and stiff.
Yep.
Thank you, we've seen enough. We'll contact you if we're moving forward. And no judgment, we all do this. When we over-attach to things, our results are worse, not better. The solution is to ease up, is to act more. Plan less, act more. If you're thinking too much, you're not acting enough.
We control what we can control. The rest we leave to God. That's the beauty in believing in God. And He's right. Sometimes we're thinking too much, not acting enough.
Can live up to 70 years because they are mentally strong. After 40 years, every eagle has to make a difficult decision. Its claws are no longer sharp enough to hunt. Its beak becomes bent and blunt, and its feathers become thick. The eagle has two options. Either it dies, or it goes through a painful change. This painful change is that the eagle must go to the mountain
and crush its beak on a rock until it falls out. When the old beak falls out, a new beak grows in. With the new beak, the eagle rips out its claws, and new ones grow in. Then the eagle plucks out its feathers, and new ones grow in. This painful journey lasts 150 days, but after doing this, the eagle gets a new life. Sometimes we need to get rid of our old self in order for a new and better version to emerge. If you're not following us, you will most likely never hear my voice again. But if you are, congratulations. You're growing every day.
That's amazing. It's called change.
The treaty stated, the aliens would not interfere in our affairs and we would not interfere in theirs. We were particularly interested that they do not interfere with anything that would affect our future, which has been violated. We would keep their presence on Earth a secret. They would furnish us with advanced technology and would help us in our technological development. They would not make any treaty with any other Earth nation. They could abduct humans on a limited and periodic basis for the purpose of medical examination and monitoring of our development, with the stipulation that the humans would not be harmed, would be returned to their point of abduction, that the humans would have no memory of the event, and that the alien nation would furnish MJ-12 with a list of all human contacts and abductees on a regularly scheduled basis. And this is not being done. It was agreed that each nation would receive the ambassador of the other for as long as the treaty remained in force. It was further agreed that the alien nation and the United States would exchange 16 personnel each to the other with the purpose of learning each of the other. The alien guests would remain on Earth and the human guests would travel to the alien point of origin for a specified period of time, then return, at which point a reverse exchange would be made. I have no knowledge whatsoever of what happened to those original 16 humans who left the Earth with the aliens. It was also agreed that bases would be constructed underground for the use of the alien nation and that 2 bases would be constructed for the joint use of the alien nation and the United States government. The base at Dulce is one, the base at S4 in the area known as Area 51 or Dreamland is the second. Exchange of technology would take place in the jointly occupied bases. These alien bases would be constructed under Indian reservations in the 4 corners of Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona, and one would be constructed in Nevada in the area known as S4, located approximately 7 miles south of the western border of Area 51, otherwise known as Dreamland. All alien areas are under complete control of the Naval Department, and all personnel who work in these complexes receive their checks from the Navy. Construction of the bases began immediately, but progress was slow until large amounts of money were made available in 1957, and in the meantime, work continued on the Yellow Book with the information derived from the guests.
When he says aliens, he's actually saying demons or fallen angel. Government doesn't have our best interest in mind. Wake up, people.
This was the saddest thing that happened to me, and I never forget it. I tell everybody I talk to, I'll never forget it. I think about it. I dream about it once in a while. What happened was that 3 of us were in a cave around the north end. We're sitting there just talking, and I said, I got to get up there and take a look, see what's going on. So I got up there looking for snipers. I couldn't find a thing. It was a very calm day. Nothing was moving. I was there about 15 minutes. I dropped back down, I got on the horn, my radio, and I said, I've been looking, I can't see a thing. Well, you better keep looking because our first sergeant took a round his leg from out there. I said, okay, I'll keep looking. By the way, you got a kid coming for a replacement. I said, good, we need him. 10 minutes later, well, he stood at the horn. He said, Graves? I said, yeah, come on down. He said, what do you want me to do? I said, sit over there. There'll be a lot to do tonight when they come. I got up, I was going to go look. He said, hey, Graves, let me have the glasses. I'll look. And I said, nah, you get yourself shot.
Every time. I love how these men wear their hats and jackets so proud. I'm not even from the States, and I have nothing but respect for all of them. They fought for everyone, folks.
Time I get food from restaurants and shit, bro, I make sure, like, if I go to Subway, right, I seen that this just happened to me, bro. I went to Subway. The dude made the one lady food. I washed them and the gloves. Took her to the register, rung her up on the machine, took the money, put the money in the thing, wrapped her food up, gave it to her, and tried to come make my sandwich. And I'm like, bro, like, you ain't gonna change your gloves, dude? Like, you feel me? I'm like, bro, you not about to make I'm gonna taste everything you just did on my sandwich. No cap, bro. That's how I can't do that, bro. I'm like, can you change your gloves for me? He looked at me like he had an attitude. I'm like, how you gonna be mad at me? Because I want you to change you just touched money, you to register, wrapped her shit up, shook hands with her like, they're like, I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro.
Okay, he changes the glove, but uses the new gloves to open the bread door.
The reason why I wake up at 5 a.m. and I run every morning isn't because I'm a marathon runner or because I'm some kind of triathlete. I hate running, man, and I hate getting up early even more. So I'm starting the day by building a non-negotiable standard for myself, which I've come to realize is the only way we can ever grow and improve. When people say no one's coming to save you, they're not talking about how no one's coming to help you reach your goals. They're talking about how no one's coming to save you from yourself. Because without standards, man, we always lose direction and we always fall back to our lowest automatic systems. Binging, procrastinating, clinging to comfort, and the one of all, dude, lacking the desire to change because it's just too difficult and discomfort is so distasteful these days. So when I'm out here in the morning, it's not about mileage, it's not about pace, not really. It's about creating a rhythm and creating a standard and a certainty in a world of uncertainty for how I want to see myself throughout the day. And now I have this new energy that I'll bring to everything else I do, knowing that I said yes to getting just a little bit better today, and knowing that I was able to conquer that inner crack of dawn, and the rest of the day is cake now. I challenge you to hold yourself to something non-negotiable today. Just give it a try, man. The amount of self-confidence and newfound self-belief will be something that you've never felt before.
Motivation is easy. Discipline is hard, but so worth it.
What Meta? In case you haven't heard, Meta is actually updating its privacy policy. I wonder why that is. Probably because on June 26th, they're going to be using your public photos and your public posts to train its AI. And if you don't want that to happen, which I personally don't, you can opt out, and they're making it a little difficult to do so. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Go to your Instagram profile settings, scroll all the way up to the very bottom, and you're going to see an icon said about, click that. Click privacy policy, and you're going to be taken to a privacy policy page. Once this loads, you're going to click right to object right there. And you're going to be taken to a form that you're going to fill out and explain why you don't want your data taken. Good luck.
They hid it in the policy. Once you get to their policy page, go to search and look up AI. Then go to your information and AI at Meta. The request option is there.
Grizzly bear right here. His name's the boss. Why is his name the boss? Well, my friend, let me tell you. At 10 feet tall and a whopping 600 pounds, this grizzly bear has been hit by 2 trains in his life. When I tell you that the boss does not care about being hit by trains, this is him the day after he got hit by his second train. He is obsessed with eating the corn and grains that just fall off into the tracks there. The boss is so big that he realized no other bear stands a chance and started engaging in cannibalism. He has been seen numerous times eating other bears.
What?
Bears don't do that, but the boss does that. About 2 years ago, the boss realized that, hey, I don't even need to hunt. I can just wait for the wolves to kill something and I can just go steal it from them. What are the wolves gonna do? The answer is nothing. The wolves don't stand a chance against the boss. And just when you thought the boss couldn't get any more badass, he is responsible for up to 90% of all of the grizzly bear cubs in a 1,000-mile radius of him. Any other time a male grizzly bear tries to take the female from him, he just kills the other grizzly bear.
The boss better hope I don't pull up.
Told y'all. I literally told y'all there was something going on with these wells. I told y'all there's something going on within the water. And y'all just not have been listening. Only my true followers been listening, yo. Look at this shit. As soon as I open up Google, the first thing that John say, orcas are smashing up boats and we finally figured out why. And y'all know they didn't figure out why. For years now, orcas have been ramming and sinking luxury yachts in the European waters. They saying it's a territory child's play thing. Y'all know that's cat. Y'all know that's cat. They keep thinking that these orcas is trying to play around and chase the boat and everything. Like, nah, bro. I'm like, yo, they're trying to warn us, yo. They're trying to tell us something. They're telling us something. They can literally talk to y'all niggas. Bye-bye. Look at that shit. Hold on. Now that y'all know that they can imitate and talk back, y'all know they be trying to tell us. Them drones just got washed up on the beach the other day, man. It's time for us to wake up!
You know the United States makes it illegal to talk to dolphin. I wonder why.
Sam Altman. He is the CEO of OpenAI. Have you seen pictures of him?
Can't remember what he looks like now.
Well, he's always walking around with a blue backpack.
Okay.
Do you know what that backpack is meant for?
Making it easier so you can use your arms?
Nope. He has that blue backpack, and it's called the nuclear backpack, which if OpenAI, ChatGPT, broke it out of its system, he has basically, it would remotely detonate all the data centers.
And kill all the people in them?
I don't know. It's a kill switch if this AI goes rogue.
What happens if Sam Altman dies?
Or gets mugged.
Is that not terrifying?
That's crazy.
He just walks around with it everywhere he goes.
You think he would also just not say that? Like, right? Because like it seems like a pretty valuable thing to have, and if you're gonna voice that, like that's nuts.
This seems like a band-aid solution. There needs to be like at least 3 more backpacks.
At least double that many. Why is it blue?
It sounded like Zoolander.
I did it on purpose.
It needs to be at least 3 times bigger than this.
We need at least 3 more people with backpacks.
What is this? A school for ants?
This chick gasping in every clip is starting to get on my nerves.
Take the time today to address some rumors and provide some clarity for people who are new to my profile. People seem to want to know more about my unfortunate relationship to old Larry. So even though I've been openly honest about this from the very beginning, I'll provide a video for everybody to finally clear things up. And you can take it how you want, everybody's going to have their own opinion. But there is a little group of very uninformed individuals going around on TikTok saying that I'm the godson or some shit of Larry Fink. When in actuality, I'm unfortunately one of 6 grandchildren of Mr. Larry Fink. I know everybody's so surprised, but I'm also one of 2 that Larry strongly hates as well. See, when I turned 20 years old, I learned about the dark secrets of my family, right? I learned about why our last name was changed as well. Old Larry chose to abandon my father at a very young age. Larry strongly hates me because I chose to break away from the family after I found out about these secrets. I chose to start a journey of exposing the industry and the industry executives that hide behind the veil of lies of which they've created to deceive all of you. And if you've been here since August of last year, you'd be able to see that with the Maui wildfires. I try to bring awareness to the fact that BlackRock finances CERN, and the fact that CERN might have had a satellite over Maui on the day of the wildfires. Not confirming anything to officially be true, but I think it's pretty obvious, especially with satellite tracking not being available anymore. Yes, I was one of the original creators that brought awareness to, in quotation, space lasers. And if you don't want to believe they exist, that's fine, but they've been openly honest about it earlier this year. Regardless, I want to address the fact that everybody's starting to think that I'm some opposition. If you were to look at my profile, it would become obviously evident as to how I'm not. But like I said, people are going to have their own opinions, not that it really matters to me anyway. You can take it how you want to, that's your opinion. But just know this is the last time that I'm actually going to officially be addressing this. I've been trying to tell everybody from the very beginning. There's just unfortunately a lot of new people to my profile. And just know that Larry is literal garbage. This man is the epitome of evil, and he's not even the worst. But that's basically all there is to it. I'm not just some privileged, spoiled, rich kid. I don't get things handed to me, I earn everything I have. I have a wife, I have children, I love my family, I really do. My actual family, because I don't consider this piece of my family. My father was a warrant officer in the Navy, and I'm very proud of what he's been able to accomplish. Without this piece of helping out, because I don't want his dirty money anyway. But yeah, that's basically all there is to it. And once again, I've been openly honest about this, but once again, if you're new to my profile, welcome to my reality.
Make a shot in the morning with some turmeric, some pink Himalayan salt, half a lemon, tablespoon of olive oil, not extra virgin, regular olive oil, a little bit of cayenne pepper, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup. And if you put ginger juice inside, and you drink it, you go running for like 2 hours straight. The amount of euphoria that you're going to feel is going to be crazy. The amount of release of dopamine that you're going to release, you're going to feel like a god.
I'm running straight to the toilet.
Here is a scientifically proven fact about how your mind works. If you punish your brain for doing the wrong thing, it will stop doing the specific thing you punished it for. But if you reward your brain for doing the right thing, it will keep doing the specific thing you rewarded it for. And so, if you try to change your behavior by punishing yourself, you might stop doing the bad thing you were doing, but whatever you do next will be completely unpredictable. Because punishment only tells you what not to do. But if you focus on rewarding yourself for doing the right thing, you will predictably do more and more of the thing you want to keep doing. So you can keep hating yourself if you want, but it's completely ineffective at getting yourself to become the person you want to become.
That's why I play 19 hours of video games after 5 minutes of study time.
What do Chinese people have for breakfast in the morning? Yalla.
Yeah.
我买什么？包子。包子好吃吗？必须要吃。必须好吃。对，我饭做的不错。那来一个包子试试去。啊？这啥肉啊？这个包子？猪肉、三鲜、牛肉，吃哪个馅的？牛肉吧，我不吃猪肉啊。什么国家你是？我来自苏马里的。啊，苏马里。非洲。海盗。This is my first meal in the morning. Hopefully my face is not dirty. Too quiet for the 包子。 This is the biggest egg I ever saw in my whole entire life. Hello. And in the middle of the road, there will be a woman who's making noodle cups for you. This is tofu, This is the tofu that I'm going to eat right now. For the first time in my whole entire life, I'm going to eat tofu now. I never tried it before, but I'm gonna try it right now. Look how it looks like. Let's eat, ya habibi. I think so I have to mix it first. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
这咋吃啊？就这么吃吗？
对，对，你国籍是哪的呀？
你猜？
国籍啊？
你猜我是哪里的？
我猜你是印度的。
印度？
非洲啊？
非洲？
非洲的。
对。
坦桑尼亚那边。
索马里。
This is the way that people used to store beef during the war. They put the beef into these glass jars, and without adding any water, they put it in a pot and stewed it. Have you ever seen this strange way of eating beef? Because Azerbaijan was always at war. For better storage of food, people would make canned food. Today they're going to show the complete process of canning beef. The first thing to do is to separate the beef from the bones. Usually they choose the part of the leg. The tendons also need to be removed so that it doesn't affect the final flavor. Then the beef is cut into cubes. A piece of beef weighs about 100 grams. When the beef is ready, put them in the glass jar. The only spices needed are pepper and salt. Canned beef is very simple to prepare, but the quality of the beef is very important. If the beef is not fresh, the canned beef won't taste good. In the end, all you have to do is put them in a pot and simmer them. After about 15 hours, the canned beef is ready. Usually it can be stored for up to 2 years.
It's called canning, and you better pressure can that meat.
So it's the mold that dehydrates us?
Oh my gosh, do you want 30 seconds on that?
Yes.
The primary mold toxin in coffee that survives roasting and brewing is called ochratoxin A. It is a toxin that attacks your bladder and your kidneys. So when your body detects that you just drank this, it freaks out, it dehydrates your tissues to dilute the toxin. And you know this. You ever drink coffee and then you have to pee 20 minutes later and your bladder's not full?
Yes.
Why did you have to pee without a full bladder? Because there's toxins in your pee and your body's like, get it out of here. This stuff causes cancer.
Oh my God, I have chills all the way down my body.
I don't even care anymore. Everything has something. You're instilling more of my happiness.
The answer is you have to have two input frequencies, one low, one high, and the higher frequency must be 11 times the lower. It's what we musicians would call the 11th harmonic. When we add the 11th harmonic, we begin to shatter microorganisms like a crystal glass. These are the first videos taken. We showed these videos to our friends in the biology department. They said they hadn't seen anything quite like it. Seems to be a new phenomenon. These organisms are being shattered by our electronic signals. We now know that is vulnerable between the frequencies of 100,000 hertz and 300,000 hertz. So now we attack leukemia cells. Leukemia cell number 1 tries to grow a copy of itself, but the new cell is shattered into dozens of fragments and scattered across the slide. Leukemia cell number 2 then hyperinflates and also dies. Leukemia cell number 3 then tries to make it. The new cell is shattered and the original cell dies.
And the most important component of that is the ultrasonic transducer. And the fundamental part of the ultrasonic transducer is the piezoelectric element. This, when electricity is applied to it, vibrates. And those vibrations then create an ultrasonic wave that can propagate through tissue. Now, by arranging an array of these elements in a concave formation, the transducer then becomes capable of transmitting ultrasonic waves that then increase sharply in strength at the focus. By pulsing those waves, we create the histotripsy effect to destroy tissue at the cellular level. Now, other therapeutic ultrasound generates vibration that then creates heat to destroy those tissues, which could then potentially damage other tissues nearby not targeted because of thermal spread. With histotripsy, that pulsing is provided in very, very short pulses that allows then a mechanical force, and so that the range of destruction of that tissue can be precisely controlled and monitored in real time. The tissue then It gets naturally absorbed in the body after the treatment, and then natural healthy cells can regrow. This is an MRI image after histotripsy treatment in a preclinical model. That dark circle there is the treatment zone. Notice the precise surgical-like boundaries that we treated where we wanted to and nowhere else.
The Rainbow and the Worm, The Physics of Organisms, by a scientist, Mei-Wan Ho. Maybe we could shatter a living microorganism. But in order to do that, we would need some kind of device. So we searched the US patent database, and we find this invention by a physician, Dr. James Bear of Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's called a resonant frequency therapy device, and its purpose is to induce a resonant vibration in a living organism or cell. And we take Dr. Bear's device, and the hunt begins through a microscope for a frequency which will shatter a living microorganism. So now we're searching for the magic frequency. And we start with 100 hertz, and we look through the microscope to see if anything's happening. We watch for 5 minutes. Nothing happens. So we try 101 hertz. We look through the scope for 5 minutes, and nothing.
They've known of cures for many, many years, but there's no money in it. Pure evil.
Talk in a meeting, the more likely you are to get selected as the leader of a team. So we reward people who dominate the conversation, even though they are not actually better at leadership. And often they're worse because they fail to include and learn from the voices around them in the room. They're so obsessed with being the smartest person in the room that they fail to make the room smarter. I think what happens there is that we're consistently mistaking their confidence for competence. So we need to change that. The people I want to elevate into leadership roles are basically people who bring generosity and humility to the table. Generosity is about saying, I'm going to put my mission above my ego, and I'm going to try to make everybody in the room better. And humility is about saying, it's my job to know what I don't know and try to learn from every single person I work with. And I think the idea of being a lifelong learner is something we throw around a lot, but we don't take seriously. I think part of being a lifelong learner is recognizing that every person you meet is a potential teacher.
The best leaders are those people that don't want to be a leader. Don't go anywhere because we still have fire clips after fire clips back to back.
There's a whole agenda with Princess Catherine, or Kate Middleton as I've been referring to her as, that if you can't see the whole picture as a multi-dimensional image, you're not going to understand it. And everything that I'm bringing to you here on this TikTok channel, is me showing you the multi-dimensional image. 70% of you guys are not going to understand that. And I have plenty of other videos on how royals, elites, famous people, people that are living in sin, whatever you want to call them, skip over the second D word. And I'm probably going to have to repost that video because that video was posted back in November. And basically they are able to stay in some way immortal forever. You guys would know what I'm talking about if you saw any of my previous videos on vampires and how the goal for the vampire ritual, sorry guys, I sneezed. The goal for the vampire ritual is so that people skipped over the second D word, okay. And this was a goal that a lot of elites and royals had back then, especially in Europe. But the origins of vampires actually came from ancient Egypt. Funny how a lot of people are in my comments saying that there's some type of conspiracy that Oprah, 50 Cent, Jay-Z are all from ancient Egyptian bloodlines. Funny how the ancient Egyptians are known for skipping over the second D word and have made many of their royal elitists vampires. There's so many dots to connect here, and I'm not saying that this is the only ritual for people to skip over the second D word. After ancient Egypt adapted this, then the people in Eastern Europe adapted this. There's people in Romania that still believe in vampires. There are still vampires. There's been reports of vampires in the United States, New Orleans, and I believe Connecticut or Rhode Island. There was one little girl, I forgot the name of her. Who knows about the vampire case in Rhode Island? Comment below.
This stuff is not just folklore. This stuff actually happened. And people in Eastern Europe are still victims of vampire attacks. The vampire ritual or rituals, there's multiple vampire rituals, goes into Luciferian magic, and it also goes into intimacy magic. There's a few books on the vampire rituals. They're a little hard to find, I'm not gonna lie, I have one. Actually, I was given one by somebody that was, I don't know who they are, but they were very kind to give it to me. But just think about it. If ancient Egyptians were so obsessed with skipping over the second, wouldn't that mean they're all still here?
So it's fair to say that most of Hollywood are a bunch of vampires and royals? And if there's dark elites, is there light elites? Let me know how you feel about this.
Humans were never meant to see. Man went on the Mount Everest. Gorilla talking with a human.
Mama? Is this for Mama?
Mama.
Do you love your Mama? Do you love Mama? Here, sweetie.
Emerald tree boa snake yawning.
Whoa. Man, look at those teeth. The first one is oxygen deprivation. Jakarta, the capital city of Indonesia back in 1976. What do you think? Let me know in the comment.
Kiwi a day will actually protect your DNA by about 60%. Kiwis you can find almost anywhere these days. Fuzzy on the outside. By the way, most people don't think they can eat the skin of kiwi, but in fact you can put the skin into a blender and you get a ton of the natural dietary fiber from the skin. It's really packed. But the flesh, which is either green or golden, wonderful source of antioxidant activity in kiwi. It's got a ton of vitamin C, it's packed with dietary fiber, and if you eat 3 kiwis for breakfast, for example, pretty easy to do. If you cut up the kiwi, put it in chunks, you could be eating that as a breakfast, as I have. Basically, that starts to build back damaged DNA. So one kind of is like a missile shield, prevents the damage from coming in by about 60%. That's just 1 kiwi a day, simple. But then you add 3, any DNA that did get damaged, it'll start to repair it. It sends out the road crew to fill up the potholes.
3 a day? That's like $1,000 a week.
Breaking world news you might have missed today. Mexico has elected their first female president, Claudia Sheinbaum. Mr. Beast has now become the channel with the most subscribers on YouTube. India has recorded its highest temperature ever of 126 Fahrenheit outside of New Delhi. Archaeologists in France have discovered 28 horses from 2,000 years ago. King Charles and David Beckham were seen chatting over the hobby of beekeeping while at a charity event in England. The fast fashion company Shine is looking to join the London Stock Exchange. Canlan volcano erupted in the Philippines, causing 3 miles of ash to go into the air and residents to evacuate. 5 military dogs in Ecuador received medals for their service. Major flooding in southern Germany continues. Parts of Nigeria lose power and major airports shut down as union workers rally for higher wages. Actor Zachary Quinto slammed on social media by a Toronto restaurant.
If you don't know, now you know.
Took anthropology of alcohol in college because why wouldn't I? And here's some fun facts that I learned. If you drink a room temperature beer versus a cold beer, the room temperature beer is going to get you drunker faster because it goes into your bloodstream quicker because your body does not need to warm it up in order to process it. So it goes through your liver quicker whenever it's warm. Be careful. 1 beer on a boat equals 2 beers. 1 beer in a hot tub or a hot bath equals 2 beers. 1 beer equals 1 shot, and 1 beer also equals 1 cup of wine. 1 beer takes 1 hour for it to go through your body. For some people that are like, I'm a big guy, I don't get drunk quick. Well, your blood alcohol content might still be high, but you just won't feel the effects of it. So you could feel stone cold sober after 10 beers. I'll feel drunk off my ass on 10 beers. But our blood alcohol could be the same. Muscle absorbs alcohol more than fat does. So let's say you have a ripped person that weighs 200 pounds and then a chubby person that weighs 200 pounds. The chubby person is going to get drunker quicker because the fat does not absorb alcohol as much as muscle does. The bigger you are, and the more muscle you have, the less you're going to feel the effects of the alcohol. The smaller you are and the thinner you are, the more you're going to feel it. Women tend to get drunker faster because we have less muscle and we're also smaller than men. Men naturally just have a higher muscle percentage than women, so that's why beer gets absorbed into their muscle faster than women do, so that's why we feel so drunk. Ask somebody the next time you see them, why is there red wine and why is there white wine? People are going to say, because of the grapes. Wrong. You ever open up a grape? You ever look in the middle of it? What color is it? Clear. The skin is the color difference, but all grapes on the inside is clear. So what makes it red and white? AKA, all juice from grapes is clear. They take the juice and they take red grapes and they leave the skins in it, and then it marinates and it colors the white juice from the grapes. And that's why you have red wine, and that's why you have white wine. You could have white wine from red grapes. They just don't put the skins in there. There's this thing called Asian flush, and that's whenever your face gets really red whenever you drink alcohol, and that means that your liver is not processing it fast enough for the intake that you're doing, and it can potentially be a sign of liver failure. So if you ever see your face getting really red, you need to tone it down because your liver is not catching up to how much you're drinking. This is disgusting. You ever have Crown Rousse? Crown Rousse is made from wood chips. It is distilled. So whenever you distill something, what happens is you have it in water or like potatoes or literally anything. It's in water, you heat it up, the steam goes up, and then you put it into like cold water. So the steam then turns into a liquid, and then I feel like there's more to this, but then it comes out as vodka, 100 proof, whatever you're doing. That's why it's called wine and spirits. That's why it's called wine and spirits, because the spirits is like hard liquor because it was evaporated and then turned it distilled. That's what distilling something is evaporated liquid. So Crown Rousse is wood chips soaked in water that is then evaporated and then put through cold tube, and then it turns into liquid, and then you have alcohol. That's why it's wine and spirits. That's crazy. That's also why it's $12 for a handle. Most vodka is made from potatoes. I love this fact. So monkeys and other animals purposely get drunk, and how they do this is by eating fermented fruit. So fruit that was on the ground that has gone bad. They purposely eat it to feel drunk. So monkeys and other animals eat that to feel the effects of being drunk. So if you have bad influence friends and you're at a bar or a shindig, wherever you are, and you don't really want to drink anymore, but they're like, don't be a wimp, get another one, and your ego doesn't let you say, no guys, I need a water. What you can do is get a lemonade or a Sprite with a lime or a lemon in it, and nobody knows that you're not drinking alcohol. But it is absolutely okay to say, no guys, I'm good, I'm not going to drink anymore. But if you have a crippling ego like myself, this is a cute little tip that I do. If you drink a Corona on the beach with a lime, do not get the lime juice on you because it can cause 3rd-degree burns in the sun. That's all for now. Happy alcohol.
Did she also take the anthropology of skincare? Because her skin is glowing.
More than 25,000 electrical power outages were reported yesterday in South Carolina because of this massive hailstorm. Now, if you're wondering how hard did the hail come down, just watch this video right here. 2 people inside a car get stuck in the hailstorm. Bro, it literally broke the back window of their car. They're only staying safe because of the front windshield. That front windshield went through absolutely everything to keep them safe. Look at that. Here is another video that somebody took in front of their front yard. And it's just massive hail, guys. It's kind of strange to me how hard it hailed. And then after that, it actually started to get fogged up.
Car completely gone. If you want to like this TikTok, oh, tree gone. Gone. Everything in this complex fucking gone.
Bro, it took down a tree. And also, here's a picture somebody took of the hail. I don't know about you guys, but that hail looks kind of strange to me. It's a bit too perfect. It's kind of suspicious.
Okay, I'm about to blow your mind. There is something in our body that literally lets us travel interdimensionally. I think what I'm about to say is proof why we can astral project and maybe in the future actually fly. Just hear me out. Okay, first of all, there's a guy named Thomas Cowan. He wrote a book called Human Heart, Cosmic Heart, where he talks about that our bodies hold little specks of gold. He talks about how the heart is a pump for this gold, he thinks, that creates a vortex that spins this gold in our bodies into what is called monoatomic gold. Here is what is so cool. Okay, so how gold gets to monatomic gold is something I'm not even going to talk about, but it basically has to do with spinning in a vortices, which they say that the heart does. Now, when it turns into monatomic gold, it has very interesting properties like transporting matter into other dimensions, and they even talked about levitation. So I would think, oh my God, we have the building blocks in our bodies, in our blood, to be able to one day become like birds, just like they showed on hieroglyphics and in cave drawings. And not only that, but all of you meditators know when you literally go to like other dimensions in your brain, maybe our body is literally a chamber. Our blood and plasma and this little gold stuff supports us interdimensionally traveling. We are the key. We hold the power. Our bodies are Metatron's cube. Our heart is the engine that pumps our blood, that helps us interdimensionally travel by using our senses. We don't actually physically have to go anywhere. I really hope this makes sense to you because it makes so much sense to me. So yeah, in Egyptian times, they used to talk about this secretive white powder that, let me look it up. Oh, that they called spirit bread in Egypt. And it was extremely valuable mineral or gem in secret societies. It was an unstable element, and they would use it for things like astral travel. And I think it had something to do with immortality, which makes sense because our souls are immortal. Anyway, they talk about it being like a new meaning for a heart of gold, which makes complete sense. Our heart helps us transport. It's a heart of gold, monoatomic. It makes monoatomic gold. And I think there's also something with like you having to have heart coherence, basically meaning being in touch with your heart, opening your heart. And this is just by doing shadow work, working on yourself, healing your trauma, being connected with your heart and mind. I definitely think you should look up the Heart Math Institute. You know, they have a lot of things to help with this. I'm also definitely going to read this book because I have not. And just a little bonus, they also go into talking about how the body holds structured water, which I think is plasma, and how this water, like Dr. Masaru Emoto says, can be programmed. So basically by telling yourself loving things, telling water, structured water, water is programmable. We are plasma, we are programmable. We can set our intention and program ourselves in meditation to travel to other dimensions and talk to our star family, spirit family, whatever the frick you want to talk to. Like, this stuff is real. I don't care what any of you say. I know it. It feels true to me. If it feels true to you, great. If it doesn't, goodbye. Don't follow me. Go somewhere else. I like when life is magical. It makes life fun. And just the thought that we're capable of this, which I know we are, and like kind of proof behind it. I know scientists, this isn't real proof. Like, shut up. But to me, this feels like enough proof where I can at least live a magical, amazing life connecting with these things. And it's true to me, and this is my experience, and that's all that matters. And I hope that this brought more magic and curiosity and love to your day. You are the tool, you are the key, you are love. You can transport yourself anywhere. You can create a magical life. I love you.
Wait, so the volcano spewing gold in Antarctica is actually truly activating this part of us on a bigger level?
The greatest tragedies in life is that you will always be loved more than you will ever know. Someone in your class finds your presence inviting and warm, even if you've only exchanged a few words with them, or maybe none at all. Someone on the street loves your smile, and it brightens their path for the next few blocks. Someone you used to be friends with still wishes to fondly call your name. Even someone you were friends with 5 years ago would give anything to be in the same room as you today. Someone who regularly comes into work is disappointed when you aren't there to brighten their day. Someone missed you today. Someone noticed when you were gone. Someone loves you when you're there. Someone loves you when you're nowhere to be found at all. You may think you have always disappeared when you're no longer in the picture, but you've never left the frame.
Think about all the beauty strangers you have admired silently on a daily. Now think of how many people could have done that for you. You are not always only as you see yourself.
Dolores Cannon says that when you leave your house or the building you're in, it does not physically exist. The first time I heard this, I was like so confused, but it relates with quantum theory. The double slit experiment proves that our observation has everything to do with the outcome, and we are light beings living in a light matrix. Everything is made up of light. Something that's physical, like my shoes, that's vibrating at the speed of light. That's why it's physical. So basically, your observation has everything to do with your reality. Everything in your reality you are putting and creating there, and is made up of your consciousness. That's a Dolores Cannon quote. Everything exists here and now. Literally everything is existing now. I just thought of something so crazy. You guys know how in like video games, Pokemon, when you're walking around and the more you walk, whenever you walk to a certain place, that becomes your reality. That's what I'm thinking of in my head. That's what reality is to me. Wherever you go and observe is what you are interacting with, which makes it physical. If you're not interacting with it or observing it, it doesn't exist until you consciously observe it. And quantum theory proves this. The double slit experiment proves that our observation has everything to do with the outcome. Only when someone is observing something does the light shine through.
Why do bills keep arriving here then?
One, it's you. You left the door open. People ask me all the time one-on-one how to get rid of things. And the answer is reverse engineer the process. It's kind of like when you lose something. Retrace your steps in your life, and then sure enough, you will see where maybe you crossed paths with somebody that inflicted something upon you. Maybe that's all that happened. Or maybe it is your change of lifestyle. Think of like the 7 deadly sins, for instance. The other one is Job. It was the devil that was afflicting Job. God is not our tempter. The devil is the tempter. But another word for test is to tempt. So while God is testing our ability, he's testing our might, he's testing our faith, he's testing our strength, The devil is tempting us to sin. So getting rid of it, that's all demons do. They're just trying to destroy. The short answer is having God on your side. That's the short answer.
Praise the answer. Always cover yourself and your loved ones with the blood of Christ on a daily basis. Alright folks, I'm going to end our video with this coming clip. Be kind to each other. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And don't forget to like or dislike so I can make better content. Thank you for staying till the end. There's a free gift below if you like. Thank you for watching. Have a prosperous day and God bless.
It says, you give a poor man a fish and you feed him for a day. You teach him to fish. You give him and no.
What was he trying to say? What was he trying to say, fam? No, bro, I've laughed at the first clip. That's unreal, mad. What was he? No, we have to replay that. What's he trying to say?
You give a poor man a fish and you feed him for a day. You teach him to
how to fish.
You give him and no.
Hey, come on, you got it. You've got it. Hey, what's going on? Hey, he's done.